After 15 years and $100 some odd billion of U.S. investment, you have the governance of Afghanistan still the second or third of 190 countries in the most corrupt. You have the Taliban insurgency at its highest point, its most violent and vicious point since 2001, the most number of civilian casualties going on in Afghanistan, and the highest number of Afghan military casualties. My name is Daniel Davis. I recently retired from the Army after 21 years of active service, 30 years of total service. I've had 4 combat deployments to include high-intensity tank-on-tank combat in Desert Storm, military advisors in Iraq, traditional coin counterinsurgency in Afghanistan, and was deployed both to Afghanistan and Iraq twice each. Unfortunately, in my opinion, after having been on the ground twice in Afghanistan as a soldier and now here recently as a journalist, is that there is a significant disconnect between what we want to accomplish and what we're actually doing on the ground. We'll send in the special forces, we'll send in drones, we'll send in aircraft to do a mission, and I would venture to say that in something close to 99% of the cases, it's tactically effective. What we attempted to do, we did. What never gets asked, and what is actually the most important question, is what are you accomplishing by this tactical activity? So if you go and successfully conduct night raids and all those things, but at the end of the day it doesn't move the needle at all on the objective, on the political objective, then you have to seriously reconsider what are we doing, and is it worth the money and expense and blood and treasure that we're putting in? And right now I'd say that it's not. The problem with even that question is that we have so messed things up in the early portion. I'm talking all the way back to December 2001 with the Bonn Agreement, and then the 2005 when we tried to establish how they were going to do their government, and then the 2014 unity government deal that were brokered. We keep making things messy, more messy, and then almost dysfunctional. So then you have to see, well, what can you do in this current situation with as messy as it is right now, and either avoid outright disaster or ideally turn it into something successful. And the scale of difficulty is enormous. It is blatantly obvious that our mission is failing on virtually every level you want to look at. Security, governance, international relations over there, and certainly American interest are all suffering, and something significantly different has to be done. The current American policy is that in 2017, all of the remaining 10,000 troops will be gone. So that's going to be on the plate of the next president. Well, virtually everyone I spoke to, members of parliament, experts, men on the street, everyone believes if you pull out the U.S. military, then you're going to have some kind of overt civil war breaking out. Donald Trump, at least, he seems open to saying, all right, the status quo we've been doing for 2 decades, all right, does it make sense? So he at least seems to be willing to challenge the status quo. Secretary Clinton, at least what it sounds like is that she's more interested in continuing on the policies of the current administration, which I would certainly not like to see. Hopefully she will have some bold new ideas. I'd sure like to hear that. And then Bernie Sanders, probably of all the candidates, seems to be the most like, well, let's don't do stupid stuff, and let's don't just automatically use lethal military force every time there's an issue like that. So I'd like to hear his specific answers as well. I'm a frequent contributor at the National Interest and have an author page there. And then you can follow me on Twitter at Daniel L. Davis 1.